Good day, everyone. Today we will be discuss about the chirality in D-glucose, one of the important component in BCH 3005 biological chemistry. This presentation is prepared by Group 3. Here are the list of the committed team's members. Assalamualaikum, my name is Alif. The D-glucose is the vital monosaccharides that serve as a primary energy source in biological systems. Its unique structure, characterized by multiple chiral centers, plays a crucial role in its biochemical interactions. In nature, the D-glucose is the most prevalent form of glucose. This permanency is attributed to its exceptional stability, especially in its cyclic pyranose form. Understanding the reasons behind the abundance of D-glucose provides the insight into its essential roles in metabolism and energy production across various life forms.
Good day, everyone. My name is Karenisa. Thank you for the introduction, Ali. Here, we present the Fischer projection of D-glucose. The utilization of Fischer projection works best for representing the straight-chain structure of monosaccharides and some amino acids. They represent as structural forms that enable one to convey valuable stereochemical information by drawing 3D molecules as flat structures. A two-dimensional representation that clearly illustrates the spatial arrangement of its atoms, highlighting its chiral centers. Next, Azura will tell us about chirality.
Thanks for the structure of the glucose in the Fischer projection, Nisa. Hi, I am Azura. So, chirality refers to the geometric property where a molecule is non-superimposable on its mirror image, much like our left and right hands. This property is crucial in biochemistry as it influences how molecules interact with the biological systems. A molecule that exhibits chirality is called chiral molecule. Chiral carbon is a carbon atoms that bonded to four different atoms or different groups of atoms. Moving forward, we will locate the chiral carbon in the D-glucose with Farid.
Hello everyone, my name is Farid. Let's look at the chiral carbon in D-glucose. D-glucose contains 4 chiral centers located at carbon C2, C3, C4 and C5. Each of these carbon is bonded to 4 distinct substituents as a result from a chirality. Hello everyone, my name is Farid. Let's look at the chiral carbon in D-glucose. D-glucose contains 4 chiral centers located at carbon. Starting with carbon number 2, it is connected to a hydrogen atom, a hydroxyl group, the aldehyde group at C1, and the next carbon in the chain C3. This arrangement makes C2 a chiral center as all of 4 attached groups are different. The presence of the aldehyde group at C1 is a unique feature here, distinguishing it from other chiral carbon in the molecule. Moving to carbon number 3, it is attached to a hydrogen atom, a hydroxy group, C2 which carries the aldehyde, and C4 which connect further down the chain. This carbon is another stereogenic center because the 4 substituents are different. The hydroxy group at C3 plays a crucial role in stereochemical interaction with enzyme and other biomolecules. Next, at carbon number 4, the carbon is bonded to a hydrogen atom, a hydroxy group, C3 which link back up the chain, and C5 which extend to the terminal group. The hydroxy group on C4 contributes to the molecular chirality and impact how D-glucose interact in aqueous environment and biochemical pathway. Finally, we come to carbon number 5, which is connect to a hydrogen atom, a hydroxyl group, C4, the previous carbon in the chain, and C6, which carry a terminal CH2OH group. This carbon is especially significant because its configuration determines the D or L notation of glucose. In D-glucose, the hydroxy group at C5 is on the right side in the Fischer projection, defined in as D sugar.
Hi, John here. To assign the R or S configuration to each chiral center, we employ the CIP priority rules. This systematic approach allows us to determine the absolute configuration of each center. First, we assign priority to the four groups attached to the chiral center. The group with the highest atomic number gets priority 1, and the next highest gets priority 2, and so on, all the way down to 4. Once the priorities are assigned, we need to orient the molecule so that the group with the lowest priority, number 4, is pointed away from you. Next, we look at the path from the highest priority to the second, and then to the third. If the path goes clockwise, the configuration is R, from the Latin word rectus, mean right. If the path goes counterclockwise, the configuration is S, from the Latin word sinister, meaning left. Finally, double-check to ensure that the lowest priority group is pointing away from you, and you're done. Let's see how this can be practiced with Mariam. She will guide you to assign the R and S for each chiral carbons that Farid just mentioned.
Hello everyone, I'm Mariam. Let's examine each chiral center in D-glucose and determine its configuration using the Kant-Ingold priority rules. In C2, the substituent here are OH, H, C1, the aldehyde group, and C3. So let's assign the priorities. The OH group contains an oxygen atom which has a higher atomic number than hydrogen, so it gets the highest priority. The aldehyde group, C1, is a carbon double bonded to oxygen, so it's higher than CH bond. So it's got second priority. The C3 group is a carbon bonded to the two hydrogen and a hydroxyl group, which give its priority 3. The H group is simply hydrogen with the lowest atomic number, so it gets priority number 4. So following the path from priority 1 OH to priority 2 and then at C1 to priority 3 C3, we can conclude that the direction is clockwise. So the configuration at C2 is R. So in C3, the substituent are OH, H, C2, and also the last one is C4. So let's assign their priorities. The OH group on C3 get the first priority since oxygen has a higher atomic number than the carbon and hydrogen. C2 is a carbon attached to other atoms, including the aldehyde group, which gives it second priority. C4 is a carbon bonded to a hydroxyl group, which give it the third priority. And the last one is the H group, gets the priority number 4. After orienting the molecules with the H group pointed away, the path from priority 1 OH to the priority 2 C2 and to priority 3 C4 goes counterclockwise. So the configuration at C3 is S. Okay, for C4, the substituent here are OH, H, C3, and C5. So let's assign the priorities. So first, the OH group gets the priority first again, and C3 is the carbon attached to an OH group, so it gets the second priority. And for C5 is a carbon bonded to a CH2OH group, which has a higher atomic number than CH, giving it the third priority. And as always, the H group with the lowest atomic numbers get the last priority. So with the H group pointed away, the path from priority 1 OH to priority 2 C3 and then the third priority C5 goes clockwise. So the configuration at C4 is R. So finally, for the C5, the substituents are OH, H, C4 and C6 the CH2OH group. So let's assign their priorities. So first the OH group on C5 get the first priority, and then C4 is a carbon bonded to an OH group, so it gets the second priority. After that, C6 is a carbon bonded to a CH2OH group, which has a higher atomic number than C4, giving it a third priority. And then the H groups get the priority number 4. With the H group pointed away, the path from priority 1 OH, which is OH, to priorities 2 C4 to priority 3 at the C6 goes counterclockwise. So the configuration at C5 is as. Okay, so after going through each of the chiral center, so here what we found. The assignation RNS for C2 is R, and for C3 is S, C4 is R, for C5 is S. By understanding this configuration, we can predict how the glucose will interact in biological systems and its role in energy metabolism.
As we managed to assign the RNA's configuration for all the chiral centers, I think that's all is for today. Here are some of the reference lists that we used to learn about this topic. Thank you so much for listening.